live. How come I can't see this on my phone? Welcome to live chat. Where's the live chat? Oh, there we go. Oh, I'm live now. This works. The chat actually works. Nice. Can everyone hear me? Is it buffering for anyone else? Is it still buffering, guys? Can y'all see me? Well, not me. Can I chat? Hey, have a look at my studio, guys. So here is my foam. Wow, foam. And it's even foam on the ceiling. And there's my play button. God, I love that play button. Right, cool. Let's start the live stream because my daughter is asleep. and yeah, so I really should start. Just gonna flip this around on its head so that I can charge. Rotate device. Cool. Can't read any messages. I hope you can hear this. I'm gonna start now. And if it echoes, guys, it's haunted. I don't even know what's going on. All right, then I'm gonna close OBS. Bye, OBS. Right then, you can all hear me, yeah? Cool. Right, let's start this recording again. Maybe I sound a bit far away, really, but no echo at all. Okay, let's continue. Ghost stories. We're gonna carry on from where we were before. Right. Here we go. I don't even recall what exactly we said to each other after that, or how we both even got home that night. But I do remember that we left pretty quickly afterwards. In the end, our friendship began to drift for a bit, and we both took different paths. My path led me to Washington, and hers to becoming the incredible mother she is today. We've briefly chatted a few times since that night, but each time she has never spoken to me about what we saw, and each time she has refused to even address it. This encounter has stuck with me my entire life. I replay it over and over in my head almost every day because I do obsess about this encounter. I have done quite a bit of Googling on Riverdale and all of the different encounters others have experienced on the road. Many people claim to have seen ghosts, some claim to have picked up ghostly hitchhikers, and others have seen Camaro apparitions that try to run them off the road. But what I find most interesting is the notorious story about a jogger that went to Riversdale Road and was killed in a hit and run. Rumor has it that he's constantly haunting the road in search of the car that hit him that fateful night. And I can't help but wonder if the ghost that we saw was the very same jogger. I hope you enjoyed the only ghostly encounter I've ever experienced in my life. It has shook me violently to my core, and I still feel the same way I did that night when I think about it all these years later. I'm 27 years now, but the memory still haunts me every day. I feel lucky to have seen a ghost, but this experience has made me more uneasy in the dark, and I feel like I'm constantly waiting for my next ghostly encounter, kind of like some form of PTSD. I also think back to the horse, and how he was so close to the fence, and how he pushed his nose so far through the gap. It makes me wonder if he was also spooked that night. Well, that was the first story. Let's see what you guys are saying. I have to flip this upside down. Oh my gosh, someone gave a super chat. Thank you. Revident Revidently. Oh, that's lovely. Thank you. Oh, I hope I don't miss these. I don't think I'm missing these. Can everyone hear this okay? Can you please type? And Caleb Williams, welcome to the Cryptic Cult. It's great to see you, buddy. Oh, good. Right. Cool. going to carry on then. Hope you're enjoying the stories. Flipping. There you go. You can watch this. Thanks to you guys, I got that anyway. Let's get some more water. Right. Story number 2. Let me go to the end. Okay, let's start number 2. Right, this second story is entitled The Bathroom Lady. I suppose we're going to find out why. This took place right after I graduated college and was renting a crappy, very old house with my roommate, Megan, and her cat. The cat was a tabby named Ollie, and at best, he was constantly annoyed. Like most girls with a new space, Megan was pretty excited about decorating. I was not as excited, being more of a submissive type. I let Megan do whatever she wanted with our walls and floors. Since we were both art students, we framed and hung some of our work downstairs. That lasted until the first party, because you can't have nice things and drunk college kids. It doesn't work. I should know. I personally ruined a bathroom. Anyway, Megan tried her best to make our bathroom look nice. We both agreed the bathroom was nice, but didn't feel welcoming. No matter what we put up, the room was uncomfortable. No matter what you were doing in there, you felt like someone was watching you, and you tried to leave as quickly as you could. Ugh. Sorry, getting dry throat. It's a stupid reflux, isn't it? We put in curtains, blinds, a blanket, and still felt like someone was watching. We put locks on the doors, added some nice bath mats, put up more lights, more pictures, and cleaned decals. None of it worked, and no matter how many candles or plug-in air fresheners we used, it would always smell like gin. The juniper-infused kind of gin. Megan couldn't smell it, but she was on a mission to make that room hospitable. All our wall decorations in that room would never stay up. We tried every method possible without damaging the walls. Our new lights would pop overnight, leaving glass in the bath mats. We had the electricals checked several times, but got no explanation as to why every bulb except the ceiling fixture, which was original to the house, would burst. Why this only happened in the bathroom, why every decoration was somehow removed by morning, or why it smelled overwhelmingly of juniper when both of us absolutely hated the scent. Ollie the cat was a normal cat before he and Megan moved in. At Megan's last apartment, I'd play with Ollie and have to shoo him off any project I was working on. But when we moved, he was different, and blamed it on him being moved into this new environment. But he never got better. He would stay in Megan's room, refuse to play or be pet. He was no longer interested in jumping on my papers. That cat was terrified. In particular, he was terrified of that bathroom, that stupid, juniper-smelling bathroom. Then one day, Megan told me that Ollie had a new behavior. He watched my door all night long, every night, no matter if my door was open or closed. He watched, and he watched. We called an exterminator. The guy couldn't find a spider or any trace of any kind of vermin. Of course, we had put traps in the basement and sprayed just for good measure. One night, I was alone in the house, and it clicked. Ollie, the smell, why some decor was carefully removed and other trashed. I felt stupid. The house was over 100 years old. We had a spirit in our restroom. See, gin used to be a very popular drink, especially for women. In days before safe procedures, it was called Mother's Ruin. I gathered my courage and sat just outside the bathroom. Ollie hid under Megan's bed and began crying. I concentrated, and a picture began to form. She was very willowy. She liked blues and whites, had dark hair, and she was very dark, and always topped with a hat. She had a secret lover. He left her, but not before giving her something that would ruin her. She was desperate, young, unmarried, laid down in the tub and started to drink. She rid herself of the unwanted burden, but in doing so, bled quietly to death in that tub. She was interested in me because I knew she was in that house with us. That bathroom was her that bathroom was her mausoleum, and she wanted it pristine. She didn't like the modern lights, decorations, nor air fresheners, and wouldn't stand in my doorway. Oh. And would stand in my doorway at night, frantically trying to get my attention, wanting someone to acknowledge her. So I made compromises with her. I'd talk to her when I was in the room, if she'd no longer peek in my door at night. During daylight hours, she was welcome to follow me around, but she needed to leave the cat alone. And finally, I would leave decorations stacked by the tub for her approval. Oops. And finally, I would leave decorations stacked by the tub for her approval. Although she didn't like, she would move away from the tub, so we could not use them. She liked our photos from a project about crumbling old structures. She never did make peace with the cat, and when I was ready to move out, she turned that juniper up full blast next to my pillow for a week. She was spoiled in life and lonely in death. I tried to persuade her that better things awaited her, but she was very stubborn about her bathroom. Who would keep nice things? Who would watch over the area she saw as a grave marker? I told her it wasn't even the same tub, and she knocked a photo off the wall. I know I know my friend has since moved on, and someone else lives there now. I just hope whoever lives there has a lot of patience, because the lady in the bath isn't going anywhere. That was a cool story. What do you guys think? Oh, we got another chat. Where did they go? Oh, wait, is this old? No. Oh, Revid. I need to learn this. Revidently F. Thank you so much. That's so kind of you. Greetings. Is it Sean? Cian? It's Sean, isn't it? Please stop turning it over. No. Oh. I hope you're liking the stories. The volume goes down. It's because I have to put it a little bit further away. I can try and bring it a little bit closer. Right. It's because I'm using some teeth that I got sent. I know the word teeth. Like, does it sound better like this? Or like this? What sounds better? Maybe that wasn't much of a difference, really. Second. Yeah, it's because when I turn it face down, right, the microphone's face up so that it's closer to me. Please stop complaining. He wants to turn it 50 times if he wants to. Thanks, Clint. Yeah, the thing is, it's just I have to flip it round because the charger, hold on, I'll show you, is at the bottom. And if I don't flip it round, I can't position it better. Oh, and you guys prefer the second one anyway, but I have to flip it round to read what you're saying in between the stories. So, you know, there's that. Right, Panda is still asleep. Right, we're going to flip round now again, and I'm going to carry on with the third story. There you go. Device rotated. I hope you can hear me a little bit better. And you're plugged in. Let's have a look-see. Right, we've read that one. Let's take this Excel as well. I think we've had good stories today. This is another submission by... right, well, that's not helpful. I don't actually know the name. But it was submitted on March 24th, and it's 3.5 pages long. So let's just jump right into it. I'm going to bring Pandora's little the baby monitor here. so that I can watch her as I watch you guys. Okay. We ready for ghost story number 3? Let's do it, guys. We can do this. We moved from a small, cozy home to a much larger, old Victorian terraced house in a busy part of the city. The house. Can you hear me, guys? Guys, I'm back. Can you hear me? Oh man, it's um I can't type. Oh yes. Sorry, the internet died. The well, my laptop lost connection. The everything lost connection. Right, we're back. I don't know where you guys got to in this story, but I'm gonna carry on. You can just hear the rest of it tonight, the middle of it. Flipping you round. There you go. Hope you're all comfortable there. I'm gonna have to pause the recording. See where I got to. Right. What was the last thing I read? Yeah. It was just nice to have my own space. The bedrooms were connected. Right, we'll go from there. The bedrooms were connected. The bed. Come on, there we go. Right, we're going to start again from the bedrooms. We're just describing the house right now. And the rest of the sleep. The bedrooms were connected via a long, rather narrow and gloomy landing, which had a bathroom in the middle. My sister's bedroom was right at the end, as it was above the new kitchen and attic. The whole upstairs, apart from the new end bedroom, had a really odd feel to it, like 3 cats would refuse to cross the landing, and when we got a dog, she would stand at the top of the stairs and grow. Maybe that should have been growl. She would stand at the top of the stairs and growl, refusing to come into my bedroom. My room was typically old-fashioned, with a large bricked-up fireplace and dated floral wallpaper. The first night I slept there, I was nervous for no good reason, and didn't sleep well the whole night. I put this down to it being a new space, but honestly, the feeling never really left my time there. But honestly, the feeling never really left during my time there. This part of my life was not great. I was dealing with being a teenager and feeling lonely due to being home educated and not having any friends. There was also the stress of helping look after Nan, who needed total care, and the added bonus of being bullied by the local kids. I struggled with extreme depression and began to have really dark and negative thoughts towards myself. I'm not blaming the house for this, but it certainly seemed to amplify the atmosphere somehow. This might sound weird, but I believe that whatever was there fed off my negativity and intensified the activity. The first thing that happened was small doors opening and closing, things going missing for no reason and then turning up in random places, knockings and tappings on the wall. Dad tried not to scare us by talking about it, but he later said he always felt a pressure in that house and knew there was at least one entity there. I think the first big thing for me was seeing a large black triangle of smoke just drift across the front room one day. I had been sitting reading on the sofa when I looked up and saw this thing, maybe 4 foot tall, made of thick black smoke, slowly hover across the room and disappear into the wall. The whole experience lasted around 20 seconds, and my brain didn't really properly process it. The shape had been a perfect triangle. No one believed me when I told them. Sorry. And I can't quite explain it still. Next came large orbs of light that would zip across the room, and only more often than not, seemingly go up to the stairs and disappear. This was not only seen by me, this was not only seen by me, but by the whole family. Mum blamed car headlights, but we would usually have the heavily curtains. Mum blamed car headlights, but we would usually have the heavy curtains drawn and no other real sources of moving light. The orbs would vary in size, more often than not being around the size of a closed fist. This was followed by tapping and knockings on the wall as they appeared and then disappeared up the staircase. Whatever was there liked to move things around. Mum and Dad had to collect ornaments, and we had a few around the TV. One being this cool little stone statue of a hooded lady with a small crystal ball in her lap. One day, Dad and I were playing computer games when the stone statue suddenly lifted, maybe 20 centimeters off the unit, and then slammed back down again. Sorry, guys. With enough force, with enough force to make a loud bang. That was the beginning of the more intense activity. I began to hear my name being called. This would only happen when I was downstairs in the dining room that was linked to the staircase upstairs. I would hear a voice, sometimes female, sometimes male, calling me by name, seemingly from upstairs. It freaked me out, but I didn't want to say anything to my parents as they were stressed enough at this point, without me adding disembodied voices to their list. During this time, my depression intensified, and I began harming myself and having very bleak suicidal thoughts. In the night, I would see dark shapes in my bedroom and flashing lights, but I was just too numb to care anymore. I would disregard them. I had a small cat that used to come into my bedroom, as he hated the dog, and would come in through my window on a night to get some peace. Every night at 3 a.m. without fail, he would leap from my bed and scramble to get out of the window again. I put this down as being a weird cat thing, but at 3 a.m. the atmosphere in my room would also change. Need water? Ugh. Becoming much darker. This would be when I saw shadows and lights. I told no one this, thinking that possibly it was all in my head. One night, Mum was out working, and I was awake, keeping an ear out just in case my Nan woke up and she needed help, as she frequently got confused and asked for a cup of tea late into the night. I suddenly heard a blast of noise, like a loud radio, and then doors slamming, followed by the sound of my sister screaming in terror. She ran into my room beside herself with fear. Once she had calmed down, she explained that her radio had suddenly turned itself on at full volume, and at the same time, all of her windows and doors had opened fully. Indeed, when I woke up, the windows were all open, and the radio was blasting static through the speakers. She slept in with me that night, and then told me the following day that she would rather sleep in her room after all than just stay in mine again. It's just creepy, she told me. All of this was weird, but then came the time that I physically saw what I think was an apparition. I haven't talked about the upstairs bathroom yet. It was seemingly normal. Look, learn to talk. It was seemingly normal, but definitely had the strangest vibe. I didn't even like going in there, as it felt like someone was watching, but it was the nearest bathroom to me, and the only one with a shower, so I used it reluctantly. One day I was brushing my teeth at the sink when I looked up and saw in the mirror behind me a woman in a white dressing gown. She was around 30, with long, blonde hair and dark circles under her eyes. She stood directly behind me and was staring at my reflection with a very blank and heavy gaze. I had never seen her before in my life. She looked completely real, but I got such a feeling of wrongness and fear that I just dropped the toothbrush and ran. Of course, no one else had been visiting, and the rest of my family were downstairs. It shook me up so much, I refused to visit that bathroom for a while and would wash my hair in the kitchen sink instead of showering. Right. I told no one about her, but tried to draw her from memory in a sketchbook. I'm pretty good at I'm a pretty good artist, but the picture that I drew was technically flawless and not something that a 14-year-old girl should be able to produce. It scared me so much that I burnt the picture straight away and tried to forget about it. One day, during the worst bit of my depression, I was reading in the dining room. My dad had led down the sofa. What? My dad had led down for a bit on the sofa. My dad had lied down for a bit on the sofa in the next room, and I assumed he was asleep. My parents were also super stressed at the time, and he was probably really tired or run down. After a while, he walked into the dining room and gave me a strange look. Now bear in mind that he used to work and make a living from being a medium for this next bit. He asked me who had been visiting my room in the night. Confused, I replied that no one had. He went blank for a second, kind of switched off, and then said, No, no, there's a woman and you've there's a woman, and you've been seeing stuff in your room. Of course I knew exactly what he meant, but not wanting my folks to know, I still denied it. He went quiet again, and then told me that someone had told him about the woman, and that I had seen her, and that I was in danger of hurting myself and that she was feeding off me. All of this hit home, and I finally broke down and explained all of it, even the self-harm and suicide attempts. It was very traumatic, and I hated upsetting my parents, but it was what needed to happen. Later, my dad went up to cleanse my room. He didn't seem satisfied afterwards, and my parents renovated the summer house in the garden to be my new bedroom. It was cold in the winter, but I instantly felt lighter and better in there. There was no longer that constant dread. Towards the end of our time there, we learnt a little about the previous owners from an old neighbour. I have no idea if any of this is true, as I never found proof, but I certainly need to include it. Apparently in the late 90s a family had lived in the old shop. Something was wrong with the older daughter, who had mental health issues, and she sadly ended up taking her own life in the city park one night. Oh, it just ends there. Story number 3, people. Hope you liked it. We're currently sitting at 33 minutes raw audio. I'm going to have a look at how much dead space we have. About 2 minutes, I'd estimate, on the first story. So, yeah, right. So I'm probably going to have to record for near enough 50 minutes. I'm going to check in on the comments section. Right then. Thank you, everyone. I can't read all the comments, of course. Time is precious, and Pandora will wake up soon. So I'll just read the latest things. He claps when he makes a mistake. Scooby, great to see you. Ackling, heart, heart, flower, 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 heart. Been a while. Editing markers, I guess. That's right, they're editing markers, guys. He should be playing Open Riff, We Will Rock You. Mort needs to say, Hey Bear, after every clap. I've done real radio. Live is challenging, especially when reading in a story format. You're awesome, Mort. You're a great guy too. Thanks, Kim. Hi, Mort. Hey, Jen J. Good to see you. Hey, Caleb. Gling. Good to see you. JL. XX Kyle XX. And Skyline. Skyline 23. Right. My voice is dying. Time is of the essence, so I'm going to crack on. We're going to read the 4th story now. Is it Kieran? Cian. Is that Kieran? Is it Kieran? Please confirm. Cian. I need to know now. Cian Kieran McManus. I need to know this. Maybe there's a delay. Give little Nug Nug a hug from me, Mort. Thanks, Denise. Oh, maybe Kieran hasn't replied. I am very sad. Narration gods, please let it be true stories, not paranormal stuff. Sorry, SG. It's all paranormal today. It is the Irish Cian lol. So it's just Cian. I'm going to take that as Cian. All right, cool. By the way, you're one of my top favorite YouTubers. Thank you, JL. Fourth star. Okay, Scooby. Okay. Getting on it. All right. I went to school with Cian and she pronounced it Sean. Oh, is Cian a girl's name? I thought it was a boy's name. Sorry. Maybe it's unisex. I don't know. Anyway, right. I'm going to carry on. Sean, Cian, Kian. I'm just butchering the Irish here. I'm gonna just carry on now. One thing they never tell you about live streams is how hot your phone gets. I'm just gonna get some more water. Forgive that. That's the water cooler. Has to be in the office because I need it while working, avoiding unnecessary trips to the kitchen. 3 down. Let's pick the fourth one. Let's see how many minutes you got. 33. Let's get one more L. This one will do. Well, that was a spooky noise. Let's crack on. So, cool. This one's from the US. Right. American stories. I am from the United States, but my parents are from India, specifically the northern Indian state of Punjab. Before COVID, I would travel there frequently, as my parents wanted me and my siblings to spend time with my elderly grandparents. Punjab is, in my opinion, very beautiful. It's mostly farmlands, flat and green, so vast that it's hard to see where the farms end in certain areas, like a sea or an ocean. It's it's this beauty that motivates the farmer from the Punjab and other states to protest the Indian government's new agricultural laws, which will make living off agricultural work harder than it already okay, which will make living off agricultural work harder than it already is. But I digress. The summer of 2013, I was visiting my dad's parents. They lived by themselves in a large house, which looked a bit like a castle, 3 stories high, and on the top floor, oh, though the top floors were pretty much abandoned, as my grandparents had a hard time with stairs. On the bottom floor were 4 bedrooms and a large storage room, which are very common in the pub. These are rooms that work like attics or basements, where old and extra things are kept. One usual One unusual thing about the house, which isn't uncommon there, was windows inside it. This was to keep the house ventilated and mold out during the monsoon. The room I shared with my older brother was right next to the storage room and had 2 large windows that connected to it. My brother, who had lived in that house, said the house wasn't normal. He said that when the house was being built, some woman had done black magic on the ground where she had sacrificed a dog in a ritual, and the remains of the dog were still under the floor in the storage room. I was fully creeped out, but didn't want to admit it, though I remember. Sorry, guys. Though I remember feeling creeped out every time I would look out at the sealed window in our shared room with the storage room. My brother and I are essentially this personality and butt heads all the time. I forget what we were arguing about. I was so I was so frustrated that I went to the abandoned second floor and just hung out there for a while. It was dusty and grey from old cement falling here and there. Like in the movies, old furniture was covered in white and now grey in cloth, making the whole floor look like a scene from Scooby-Doo. Maybe it was the story of black magic, or me being upset, but I felt like something was staring at me the whole time, like someone was standing right in front of me behind the grey dust and white cloth. Someone I couldn't see. My brain cells told me that someone should be there, though I couldn't see anyone. Though I couldn't see anyone. I freaked out a bit in my stubborn anger and decided to step out onto the balcony rather than go back down. It was a beautiful but stuffy afternoon, something I was enjoying until I saw little white twigs lining the balcony's rail. I looked closer to see that they weren't twigs but bones. Not human, of course, maybe bird or rat, but there were no rib cages or skulls, just arms and wings. I freaked out once again and saw ants clamoring around them. This reminded me of the story of the black magic dog ritual, and finally I broke and went back downstairs. To my chagrin, that wasn't the end of the creepy things for the night. My brother had decided to give me the room all to myself out of the same stubborn anger I had. He knew I was afraid, but I wasn't going to let him get to me like that. So when it came to sleep, I closed the lights and tried to sleep. My head was towards the window of the storage room. True darkness does not come from a lack of light, but our mindset, and I began to get creeped out while in the darkness. So I put on my phone light and scanned the whole room, but didn't see anything. That felt the same eerie feeling I had upstairs, as if I was a few feet away from intelligent eyes watching me. I decided it was nothing. Placing the lit phone, placing, placing the lit phone near my head like a nightlight. I put on some music and faded to sleep. Sometime into sleep, my eyes just flipped over. My eyes just flipped open and I felt terrified, like my senses were going haywire. Sorry guys, sorry if you missed it. Actually, we have done a face reveal. I don't remember where I was. And go back to check. Right. Eyes just open and I felt terrified. Sometime into sleep I awoke. Go from there. No comments. You guys like them? I'm gonna try and read some real quick. Oh, super chat. Thank you, Matthew J. Bauer. We love you. You're the best, bro. Right, I can't read all of them. So many. Hope you guys are liking it. I love seeing the way you make stories. Mort, you're a trip. That's why we love you so much. Thanks, Scooby. Did you notice the Scooby-Doo reference in the video, Scooby? I hope you did. I was gonna give a nod to you, but anyway. Do you have a podcast for these? I'm actually in the process of organizing one, so podcast to be released soon. Soon. Back to work, guys. Got a job to do. Can't let you guys down. That would just be rude. I can't even remember what I was. Sometime in. That's what. Sign. In What? Pandora's still asleep. Sometime into sleep, my eyes just flipped open and I felt terrified, like my senses were going haywire. My phone's light was moving as a dark shape seemed to run around the room. It looked like a person. I couldn't catch a good view of it, as it seemed its hair was all reaching for my phone. It was still lit somewhere in the room. I couldn't see where. Though in recent years we have found out the land our house is built on was once a butcher shop and house. Way before, during the 1940s, when our village was an Afghan or Pathan village. They moved out during the partition. Do, do, do. Um, Gosh, I don't even know what's going with the internet today. No, you can do it, internet. Me too. Let's see how much battery time. Right, until the end. There will be no more flipping. I'm just going to place you tentative here. There we go, and hope the internet doesn't die. But then you can't see the lovely play button as well. Yeah, that'll do. Anyway, this is your play button as well because you guys helped me get it. You see, it's all thanks to you, isn't it? Thank you, everyone. Ugh, whatever. All right then, guys. I'm gonna finish up. Final story, isn't it? Final story. Is Pandora okay? Just woken up yet? She looks okay. All right then. Story number 5. 5-story video. Really should be a longish one. I've got just short ones now. Let's take this medium one. If you ever look at my channel, where I put the stories I've got permission for, sometimes I accidentally leave in oh wait, I flipped it round. Can you still hear me? Can you hear me now? I hope so. I remember now why it has to be round so you can actually hear me. Can you hear me? I didn't mute it, I didn't touch it. Yep. Oh man, it has to be flipped round. I was just saying that sometimes I leave like a little M or an S or an XL accidentally in my videos by accident because they're markers on how long the stories are so that I know roughly what I need to make the video. Obviously, my videos are mostly 40 minutes long, so I have to have a good amount of XL or M, or if I only got like S's or M's, I have to make like 15 or 20 story videos, you know. Right then, we've got a medium one here, but this medium one is a short medium. Oh man. So we're gonna have to have I guess we could have 10 still and just a bunch of short ones after. We'll see how it goes. Right. Let's whack out this medium one. Why don't we see if I can do it with no mistakes? I saw that on one of Mr. Davis's live streams and liked the idea. And sometimes challenge myself when no one's watching. But now that you're watching, let's see, no mistakes challenge. Right, I'm ready. I studied and lived in Edinburgh, and the apartment I lived in was very old. It had old, worn-down concrete steps, which spiraled around to each landing, and the only light came from a skylight 3 floors up. In the winter months, it was pitch black in this hallway. On one winter's night, I was returning from the local Tesco, and I was fumbling along the walls around the stairwell because it was pitch black. I lived on the 3rd floor, so it was an absolute pain in the arse and took ages. When something brushed past me. There was no sound at all, but I felt it. I never believed in ghosts before, but I couldn't explain this. Something definitely brushed past me and set me off balance. It completely freaked me out. Anyway, I made it to my flat eventually, and all's well, and I quickly forgot about the whole incident. 1 month later, I leave Edinburgh. I switch on the news one evening while I'm eating. So close. I switch on the news one evening while eating my dinner and had the biggest shock of my life. There was a dead body found in the flat directly opposite mine. Same hallway, 3 feet. Now you're probably thinking, no big deal, yeah? Dead bodies are found all the time. Well, that body lay in that flat for 5 years, the whole duration I lived there. Here's the really messed up part of the story. I lived in a different flat in Edinburgh before this all happened. I used to receive mail from the previous owners and landlord. Guess who the letters were addressed to? Yep, the name of the person found dead. I'll never forget the name for the rest of my life. Rest in peace, Isabella Purves. Okay, Purves. I know it sounds like a weird last name, but it's P-R-V-S, Purves, right? Not like perverts. Hmm. Oh, and there's a picture, proof. Let's have a look at this. Oh, it's a news article. There's something I can screenshot. Forgotten, Isabella Purves' body lay unconscious, undiscovered for 5 years. Died at 89. It's got a picture as well. That is sad. Okay, then, right. That is nowhere near enough material, guys. 43 minutes. This is unacceptable. Let's see. I'm dead. Close the video and reopen. Hello again. Oh, Daughter of Darkness is back. Thank you for joining. Cool. All right, then. Oh, bye, Scooby. Right, we're going to carry on with, I think, 5 short stories. I'm just going to whack them out because they're really short. Failed the challenge. Right, let's take on 5 short ones. Here we've got 3. 1, 2, 3. And then just 2 more just to finish up. Here's a short one, and here's a, yeah, medium one will do. Medium will do. Oh, my voice is going a bit crap now. Okay, right. I'm going to twist my head upside down. Hot cup of tea and Mortis media. Perfect combination. Enjoy. Okay, I can hear now. I am staying. I'm not going anywhere. Oh, thanks, Scooby. Right, cool. Oh, man. Pandora's awake. Or would you fall back asleep again? Hi, Marcy Lee Nelson Murray. Welcome to the Ghost Squad. She is contemplating. You've helped me through COVID these past 3 weeks. Thank you so much. You're welcome, Deirdre. Glad you got better. And she is deciding to lie back down. Yes. Yes. No. She's getting up again. Oh. And oh dear. Oh man. She's leaving the pram. All right, guys, the stream's over now. Thank you so much for joining. Take care. Bye. How do I end this? Thanks. Sorry for the abrupt ending. I did say it was going to end like this.